And welcome back to Real Voices. This is Gary Hughes talking to you as we always talk to the up and coming talent in the movie and TV business. And today we have Mr. Eric Brown from Cinnamon Brown Entertainment. Eric, tell me, brother, what's going on? How you feeling?
Good, sir. Thanks for having me on today.
And man, no doubt, man. We appreciate you taking the time to chill with us. We're gonna talk to Eric about some things that he had going on. He got a new movie coming out. We definitely gonna get into that. But first, Eric, let's do this. You started off as a writer. That's when
Yeah.
you started off. You wrote novels coming through the ranks. Tell me a little bit about the urban romance thrillers that you used to write.
Yeah, I've been writing on and off. I'm 50 some years old, so I was writing since my 20s, but nothing would work. Nothing would
Hmm.
get any traction.
Right.
So around 2008, 2009, I tried writing other forms of other genres. Still wasn't hitting. So I was in Philly at some book events, and my books weren't selling. I was sitting there all day, nothing selling. I kept watching the women come in, and they were buying 4 or 5 books, $20 a pop,
Mm,
lined up at the bookstores. And
wow.
I was like all day, and I don't think I sold one copy of my book. Um, and as the lady said, she said, "This is what sells, the urban romance. The women can't get enough of it." So I saw a
Mm,
title called "Thong on Fire." It was,
mm.
it was people was buying it. It was, and so that's when I started experimenting with it and writing it, and went from there.
I
Um,
got you.
yeah, and
Gotcha.
then
I mean, it's a big genre. It is. It's a big genre, and hey, if you got women purchasing anything, you better find out what they're doing because they
yeah,
got purchasing power, no doubt about it.
yeah,
But now tell me, and listen, you have a very interesting pen name.
yeah,
You got to share the story about how you came up with this particular pen name.
yeah. When I wrote the books under my name, I'd be down here in Richmond at book fairs. I came to the Happily Natural Festival.
Okay.
And you throw the book back on the table like you don't know nothing about women. Throw it back on the table again. Nothing moving. And
Oh,
so
that's crazy.
I was like, at that time, I was working for the government
Hmm.
and I was learning counterintelligence. So when I was there, I worked with this cat that showed me how to create a false online profile to look for spies. That's what I was doing.
Wow.
So
Okay.
that's where I got
Okay.
the idea to create the pen name Spinner Brown and pretend to be a woman online to collect information on women what women wanted to read.
Go ahead, Eric.
So I
Go
did it.
ahead. Go ahead.
And so I was engaging women online as a woman, and they started telling me what they really wanted to see. And that's when I started writing the books that started hitting.
Wow. I mean, man, engaging with women as a woman
Yeah.
and they're giving you information basically to help you write what you're going to write.
When they not in mixed company, women
Wow.
are very different, bro.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
From
Makes
the
all makes
crazy.
all the sense in the world to me, no doubt about it. So
Yeah.
all right, okay. So now tell me that so now at the point you basically now you got your genre, you know what you want to write. How did you take that from take it from a book and basically push it into a film?
Oh, that I stopped writing in 2013, 2014 because
Hmm.
I was raising my kids. My first, the reason I started writing these books right off the bat was because my first wife was sick with cancer, so I
Okay.
needed extra money.
Right.
So she would actually be my editor when I wrote the stuff, but she would also sign the books for me. So we go to book festivals. She'd be up front signing the books as me, as Cinnamon
As,
Brown, taking
so
pictures.
she posed as Cinnamon Brown. I
Correct.
like it. Okay, Eric. I like it. Okay.
So
Okay.
I just sat in the back, bringing the box of books to the front and collected the money.
So they
And she,
just thought you was some dude just walking around,
her husband being helpful.
just being helpful, but you the one who actually created this stuff. Hey
Yeah,
man, go ahead, Eric. Okay. Okay.
yeah. So I wrote 15 of those different types of books under of those
15.
genres. But
Uh-huh.
my best seller out of that was "I Am That Bitch." That became the #1 bestseller on Amazon
Mm-hmm.
in
Wow.
series, and then "Sunny's After Church" was another one out of that I really liked. So after my wife passed, I just didn't have time to write, so I put that on
Mm-hmm.
the back burner and raised my kids. And then about 3 years ago, kids are older. I really wanted to write again, but the
Mm-hmm.
industry had changed. Everybody was doing films. So I was like, well, why not do the films? The barriers to entry are lower. So that's when I started taking the stories and converting them over to script form. About not even 2 years ago,
Okay.
sat
All
down
right.
writing them. But then I didn't needed to meet some people, and I moved to Richmond and started volunteering as an extra on film sets and started
Mm-hmm.
meeting people. And that's where I met my director and my producer.
Awesome, man. Awesome. If you're just tuning in, we're talking to Eric Brown from Cinnamon Brown Entertainment. This brother's story is I like it. I like it, man. That's crazy. So all right, so now we're there. So tell me and my audience some of the difficulties, because I know it's some difficulties transferring that book into a actual script.
With the narrative format, you usually have a lot more content, so you have to chop it down. You can't tell a movie the way you read a book. The book is
Right.
supposed to take
Right.
people like all the backstory on the person's background and history. If you do that in a film, you're going to bore people. So you have to condense it down to the most dramatic scenes
Mm-hmm.
that convey the most information, and you slowly drip out the person's background over time.
Well, and you have more time on the film. You can show more than
You
you
can show
actually.
it
Yeah, you
versus
can
saying.
show more,
Versus saying.
and versus saying,
You can
and I
leave it as
understand
a
that.
cliffhanger. So you have to sit down and really chop your book up and think about what are the most active scenes or chapters, and then you break that up into your scenes. That's what you
Okay.
have. If you try to just talk about, oh, she lived in Pinehurst, North Carolina, and she grew up with her grand, that's not going to work. You have to show
Mm-hmm.
the high points of that interaction with the grandma if it was pivotal. There's a flashback there probably, or if it was an ex-boyfriend or a husband or somebody. Those become the pivotal scenes that move the story forward to keep it hopping.
Okay. Okay.
Because everybody's been on the movies where you're like, why are they dragging?
Yeah. So with all that being said, tell me the main goal of Cinnamon Brown Entertainment.
I wanted to kind of play with Black content because I've been seeing a lot of the Black content, and it is what it is. People want what they want, but I wanted, with the current political environment, I wanted to create content that entertains people but makes them think a little bit. Like just look at their environment a little different and say, okay, I understand what that is. Now I understand it completely. I want to adjust how I carry it. And so all the stories are kind of around that to some extent, even though they're comedies. It's to show you the absurdity of certain things so that you can decide what you want to do with, but you're aware of what's going on around you. So everything is basically putting people on game using a comedic or dramatic
putting
effect.
People on game. I got you. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you know what? We're gonna take a short, quick break right here. We're gonna come back. We're gonna get into some of the movies that Eric has already produced and directed. Give us a few seconds. We'll be right back here on Reel Voices.
Mm-hmm.
Hey there, RVA. Are you tired of spending weekends cleaning instead of enjoying the city? Well, say goodbye to the mop and bucket because A1 Cleaning Service is here to save the day. Picture this: a spotless home without lifting a finger. A1 Cleaning Service, RVA, specializes in turning your messy space into a pristine haven. Our team of dedicated professionals is ready to tackle every nook and cranny, leaving your home sparkling clean. We offer a range of services tailored to fit your needs, from regular maintenance to deep cleaning for special occasions. Trust us, we've got the secret to a stress-free, immaculate home. And the best part? We're affordable. Let A1 Cleaning Service RVA give you the gift of time. Spend it doing what you love and leave the cleaning to us. Call us now at 804-464-7494 and book your cleaning appointment. That's 804-464-7494. A1 Cleaning Service RVA, where cleanliness meets convenience, because your time is precious. A1 Cleaning Service RVA, RVA's trusted cleaning partner. Call us today.
And welcome back to Reel Voices. Gary Hughes, your host today. We are talking to Eric Brown from Cinnamon Brown Entertainment. This brother's story and his journey to where he is right now. Hey, he needs to write about this. Eric, we need to see this on film, Eric, right here. Everything you said prior to that coming from break. Can we get this on the film? That's the question.
People have been asking me about it because it's such a crazy story.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we're talking to Eric about some of the titles that he already have on streaming networks as we speak. We have one called Cuffed, Cuffed. Eric, break that film down for me, please, sir.
That's a play on the idea of the cuffing season. And so it's a story about A Day in the Life of F Boys.
Okay.
And it started from when I was writing my books. I used to come to Richmond a lot to do book sales. So I would do stuff at the Barnes and Noble books, and I'd be all day. And sometimes I wouldn't sell books, but someone would just talk to me about their problems with men.
Right.
And they kept revealing these crazy dudes they were hooking up with and taking care of. I'm like, you taking care of this dude? One lady bought the dude a Frito-Lay Chuck and was taking care of his mama.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like surprised. I'm like, you don't see the signs. And then I kept meeting more women coming up to me to ask my advice from a dude's perspective about these men. I'm like, you dating a psychopath.
No, so you know what? We going to the right of this. We going to the right. So what do you think that is, Eric? In your travels and you talking to women, what do you think that is about women? Now, this once again, this is your opinion. Make sure I say that. Why are they still subjecting themselves to that?
It's the number one. It's partly the challenge, partly I think low self-esteem when you really get down to it. Because I've seen like I've talked to women. Like I told a woman one day she was like, the dude that she had two men she was seeing, one crazy white dude and one black dude.
Okay.
The white dude she invested in was, verbally abusive, physically abusive. The black dude, everything he did told me he was really into her, really in love. She didn't like him. She just didn't like him. He didn't float her boat.
Right.
I'm just being real. I don't think the white dude was probably any more better looking than, I just think he had a little more mystery to him.
I got you. I
realize there's a certain masochistic tendency there that people need to be aware of, that once you're aware of it, you make different choices. But I just think from talking, and I know a lot of women because I just talking to them and getting more story ideas, it's like, why you keep picking the fool? Like the idiot.
That's a title right there, Eric. Why you keep picking the food? That's a title right there. I'm trying to tell you.
In the beginning, it's hot for the first 2 or 3 months, and then it goes real fast.
Right.
Versus a more stable person, people get bored with that, or they don't want to build up, or it's
there
boring.
You go.
But
that's my opinion too. People get bored. The getting up every day, the doing it every day, the in and out. That is boring. That is boring. It is. I mean, but it's like the stability of that. As you get older, you're going to find out that that's what you need and that's what you're looking for. Yeah. But you got to get to that point, that maturity in life. And once again, everybody, this is just my opinion now. You know, I'm not an authority on this thing. He got me talking about relationships on my movie show because he talked about Cuff. So some of this probably got to be possibly in the movie as well as what we're talking about, right?
Yeah. So in Cuffed, the main character is called Brian. And it follows him throughout his day. And he has 2 or 3 ladies that he sees. So he lives in the woman's house. He drives her car. He just follows his day, and he narrates what he's doing as he's gaslighting the woman, seeing the older lady for some cash, talking to the older lady about why she's with him. You're going into, because when the side dude knows everything about this woman, who she really is, the side person always knows everything.
Right.
So he's in there, but he's narrating to the screen like, oh, watch this, watch me do this. And you see him play the games as he goes about his daily business. And he has his day in the life of a man of leisure, kind of idea.
Day in the life of a man of leisure.
And he actually has an F-Boy support group where they go every evening and discuss how they're getting new leads for new wimp sugar mamas. And it breaks down what they're doing. They're having a discussion group about who you got, and it's white, black, Hispanic. Right. It's a whole round table where they just discuss their prospects for new sugar mamas and what they do about it. So they want to retire. They want to be taken care of. So you got to get older women with money, that want to take care of them and what they got to do to close those deals. So, and I do IT sales for a living, so I use a lot of the sales verbiage in the meeting.
I got
so they're talking about, how are you closing this deal? Are you doing this? How many people you got in your pipeline? Because you don't want to be out here cuffing season without a place to stay.
Oh my God. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Tough. Yeah. Y'all heard it right here first on Reel Voices as Eric talks about one of his movies on streaming network called Cuff. The second movie that he has, because he has plenty. I just wanted to talk about these 3. He has Toxic. Toxic, Eric, is a dark comedy about love going wrong. Tell me what inspired that story for you.
Every guy, we were at the premiere of Toxic, Cuffed, And the guy's like, why is it always the men are the evil? And the guy stood up and asked questions. Why is it always the dudes that's the bad dude? Why is it always the good? And I'm like, hey, don't worry, I got it coming. I'm working on it. So
Right.
Toxic is the converse of that, where the women are the villains and the dude is the good dude.
Okay.
And it's a nice guy. He's hardworking. He's got his stuff together. He's a bit of a mama's boy, but he's independent. Got a very successful business, real estate, knows how to run things, but just bad luck with women. And so he meets the woman of his dreams, and she turns life into a nightmare. And it's based on true events. Every guy on set said, I've been in this situation as we were shooting it. So what I wrote was hilarious. I based it on some guys that I knew.
Right.
But most of the guys said, I can relate to that. Damn, I've been there. Wow. And they were having flashbacks like, I've dated that kind of crazy. And so...
all right, so tell me, the male protagonist in Toxic and the female protagonist in Cuffed, what are there any differences between those characters, or you see some of the same similarities in characters?
Some similar similarities because they have to look for love really, really hard. And one of the things is that the one thing I found is being very honest up front. And with people that tend to be nice, they tend to be too nice and don't put their standards out there up front, what they're going to deal with and what they're not.
I got you.
That's the one thing I've noticed from studying people is everyone wants to put their best foot forward to make somebody like them instead of saying, what do I want? And saying,
but that's what I call, Eric, the representative. And I tell my wife that all the time. You put the representative out and, just give it time. You're going to see who they are, what they really about, because you can't keep up that representative forever. You just can't. It's impossible to do it forever. At some point, your guard's going to go down and I'm going to get to see you who you are. And I need to pay attention to that. I got you. I got you. Makes sense.
It's kind of like that. But in Toxic, the woman accelerates it because she's crazy on top of it. When you get the crazy woman, she can't keep her shit together longer than the woman that's slick. It's going to be a few weeks to a few months.
No doubt about it. They got a plan. So they try to work that plan and they're going to do everything they can to execute that plan. I got you. You.
The crazy one can't hold it together long enough. And it's a show kind of like that, but he doesn't see it. And so the stuff I learned at the spy agency, I'm using because when I worked in the spy agency, they were teaching people how to turn other people into spies. The spies you see on TV, they're not the real spies. The real spies are like pimps. Pimps will go out and find somebody to steal secrets for them.
I got you.
And it's a 4-step process, just like pimpology. So when I'm reading the documents at the government agency, I'm like, this ain't nothing but pimpology.
Man, Eric, you better stop giving up these government gems. You're going to have people coming looking for us after a while.
So it was a trip. So once I understood that, I could work it into the story. And then I was taking psychology classes, and it's a whole cycle of manipulation that people use, but pimps have got it down to a science. And case officers have a science to it to get somebody into a point of hoeing for them or stealing secrets. It's the same process. It's the exact same process.
Man. Reel Voices, Gary Hughes talking to you. Eric Brown is teaching us as well as entertaining. I like it. And see, they talk about education and entertainment can't mix, but you are proving them wrong. I like it, Eric. I like it. So with the upcoming movie that you have out now called Sundays After Church, it's about to premiere real soon. Give us a little bit of the plot about that movie.
That is a church that is a little different. And the main character is called Sandra Clayton, and she's an older woman, about 40. Never been married. She works the church with her mama. And suddenly this church comes calling saying, we need a wife for a pastor of our church. And she ends up in an arranged marriage. And she, older, like, I'm going to try to make this work. He seems like a nice dude, but he's not really into her. So,
I got what you're saying. Okay.
So she ends up in an illicit affair with a side piece dude in the church and has to keep it a secret. But the church has got way more nefarious goals than that. And she doesn't realize that until she gets, she
in too deep. She in too deep. Yeah.
Yeah. Once they know she can't leave, then they can tell her what they're really about.
I got you. I got you.
So it's like a gangster church, the best way to put it.
A gangster church.
That's the best way. That this nice lady's caught up in.
Now is this based off some true stuff as well?
A little bit.
Okay. Eric don't bounce. You don't go too far away from the truth. I like it, Eric. I like it.
Yeah. People think I'm tripping with the stories. So I'm like, most of the stuff comes from the news. If you just read the news.
Yeah.
Just read the news.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Like Paula White. I didn't know Paula White that Trump just picked was running. It came from the black church, and she ripped off a black church.
Mm,
Took the old pastor out,
mm,
replaced him, ran it in the ground, all kinds of stuff, and that's for the White House.
mm. She was toxic. Sound like she did some cuffing, and she did it Sunday after church as well. So it's like she did all three of them.
Yeah, matter of fact, the word is she was married to one of the singers in the show group Journey,
Okay.
and
Okay.
she ripped them off. She stole a lot of money from them.
Wow.
It's like, dude.
Man. Well, I'm not going to ask that question right now.
Yeah.
I'll ask you this question off there. That's what I.
Yeah.
So you know what? Being that you have all three films out, and I know the streaming networks has been definitely a good thing for independent filmmakers. Tell me how important has it been for you to get your stuff on these streaming networks?
For visibility, I would say Tubi, but I'm gonna be honest, Tubi doesn't pay that great.
Okay.
So you really want to get on Apple and Amazon
Mm-hmm.
and have people rent the film, because when they rent it, you get the bulk of the money.
Okay.
And then you can actually turn that and flip that and create your own self-financing mechanism from that.
I got you.
So you got to build your audience where they want to see your content, and you can generate the revenue stream you need to finance more films.
So tell me, Eric, what goes behind securing these deals?
Now it's like the record business. You got to watch yourself. That's what I'm finding. A lot of people, I got a distribution company. I got this, I got that. And it feels like sharecropping when you really look at it. So you got to be very careful. Most of the deals are 80-20.
Okay.
So 80% goes to you, 20% to them. You got to be careful of taking advances. Don't take advances.
Okay.
Because you might not see any revenue after that, because the office is open from 9 to 5, like Big Red.
9 to 5. That what Big Red told us. That he told us that, right?
Same stuff. So you got to be careful, and you got to make sure that your company you sign with gives you visibility, monthly reports of what you're really getting viewership wise.
Okay.
So you know what your revenue is. There's other ways to do it where you can pay up front and go and get your stuff on Amazon. You can put Amazon, but if you want to get on Apple TV or Google TV, you can pay $400 or $500 through a distributor and put it up, and then you keep all the money that you make from it. But you got to do all the marketing.
I got you.
So the biggest thing for most people is marketing and finding your audience that wants to be your ride or die audience, that will always buy your stuff. Like Tyler Perry's audience always watches his stuff.
Always.
So you gotta spend that. I'm realizing you got to spend that 4, 5, 6 years building that audience. So you're going to go and have to do watch parties. You're going to have to do small premieres in other cities. You're going to have to talk to people, create discussion groups around your stuff. That's the grind of marketing on the ground to get people to really want to watch and discuss your film projects.
So tell me, how different, you just talked about marketing. How different is marketing now compared to like 5-10 years ago? It's like, is it more online? It's like, can you get all online? Okay.
What I found is I tried radio and I tried TV. People aren't watching that. They're watching mostly streaming, and they don't listen to radio. They listen to now. If you're going to do radio ads, do it on the streaming platforms. Don't do it on regular analog radio.
Right, I got you.
You just burning through money because it's local. If you're going to do local TV, maybe you'll get some traction, but nobody watches local TV anymore. They watch streaming. So you got to if you're going to do it, be very strategic about targeting the online music platforms for that, and do ads on there. Run some ads on the streaming platforms themselves. You can run ads on Tubi if you want to do a commercial. You can do it. And it's not that expensive, but it takes time. You can also, you can do ads on IG and Facebook, but again, you got to know your audience persona. And I know my audience is Black women between the age of 25 and about 55. That really young audience is not my audience.
Right.
So I'm always targeting them when I do all my marketing to engage to see what resonates with them. And it takes a lot because there's so much content out there. You need to be on it about marketing, but also how do you stand out from the group?
Got you.
With stuff. So that's when you have to do little giveaways, or you do little contests, whatever it is to get people engaged to want to talk to you about your content.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Eric Brown is teaching us in here. I like it, man. Hey, Eric Brown here on Reel Voices Gary Hughes talking to you. So you know what, Eric? next 5 years for Cinnamon Brown Entertainment and Eric Brown? What do you see for yourself?
I want to turn Sundays After Church into a series. So the one we do have on March 8th is just the pilot episode. I've outlined 4 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get season 1 shot in June and then see how it does and come back and do season 2, 3, 4, 5 possibly.
Okay.
And turn it into like a franchise. Because I think we have something really good with the story idea.
Right.
It has a lot of wheels. And then with the current political environment, I think it'll be very relevant.
I see that. Eric Brown has taken the time to sit down and talk to us today on Reel Voices. But y'all know we don't let anybody get out of Reel Voices when we get them on the air until we go and put them into our segment called The Real You. This is where we talk to the interviewee and we just ask them a couple of questions that might not be pertaining to anything with film, TV related. It could be anything. And I told Eric before we started I was going to do this. So hopefully he's ready for this. Hopefully he's ready.
Mm-hmm.
You ready for it? Come on, Eric. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay, here we go. First one. If you could be in it, excuse me, name me your guilty pleasure. Give me a guilty pleasure, Eric Brown.
Define guilty pleasure. Define guilty pleasure.
And you know what, Eric? However you want to define it, I'm gonna let you define it. You define
it. What I'll waste my money on is horseback ride.
Really?
That's where I'll blow my money on. That's my vice. It's horses.
Wow.
So
okay.
All right. As a kid, people like, where are you going? I'm going to ride horses. So people like Harley, some people like cocaine, some people like whatever. Whatever it is, I like horses. So
you like horses. Okay.
I take to ride.
Nothing wrong with that. Okay, all right, next one. If you could do anything for a living and get paid for it, what would it be?
Cowboy/horse trainer.
Wow. You and these horses, that's real. Okay, yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. Mm-hmm. All right, biggest risk you ever took?
Investing in these films. Yep.
All right.
I did house construction before it. That's less risky than this.
Less risky than this. Okay. All right. Tell me something you wish you were better at.
I think being charismatic. I'm not that person that comes in the room and be like, hey, how you doing, bro? That ain't me. I wish I could do that. Turn that on. Right. It's just not. I'm a guy that's in the cut. Like I like to make shit happen and be in the background.
I got you. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Yeah. Give me a secret talent of Eric Brown that nobody knows about.
I'm good at organizing. That's what makes the films work. And people are like, you're good at producing. Mm-hmm. So that's what I think that would be the unknown thing because most EPs don't produce. They put up the money and kick it back,
right?
And just watch stuff. I ended up actually producing, so making the pieces together.
Okay. And the last one, man. If all the books in the world were destroyed but one, which one would you keep?
I got it right here. Powernomics.
Powernomics. And why?
By Clark Anderson.
Yeah, Clark Anderson. Yeah, I know him. Yeah.
That's the breakdown of Black independence because I'm very pro-Black, pro-independence, finance. And I've been reading his book and I'm like, this is really, really good. And it breaks it down with actionable ways to do it.
Yeah, he's been underrated for a while. They don't talk about that brother enough.
Yeah.
Brother, real smart brother. I know exactly who you're talking about. Man, listen, hey man, thank you for taking the time doing the interview with us today. Give me all your contact information. Let them know how they can see Sundays After Church. Go right ahead.
Okay, patient. My website is cinnamon-brown-entertainment.com. We're going to be having the premiere on March 8th at the Hippodrome here in Richmond, Virginia. So you can go on Eventbrite and see for private screening, Sundays After Church to buy tickets. You can reach out to us through our website. So there's a portal there. You can just send emails or contact us that way. And then I want to shout out my wife, Natasha Boyce Brown, for help. She's also co-executive producer and does the content in the background.
Beautiful, man. My wife, my biggest supporter too. I know exactly what that is, brother. You know, best decision I ever made. I'm saying that on live radio. Excuse me. But hey, man, just thank you for the time, man. Hey, man, I really appreciate it. Glad I got a chance to meet you. I'm definitely gonna be checking out everything that you got going on, man. Much success to you. Thank you for taking time to come on the show, brother. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us on. This is fun. I enjoyed it.